Ebusia for me war line no so yeah osofo Edwin Dadson or no yeah one of the main for our moda city praise and osofo me ma kwa baba dwumadi nso.
Na oka chiza.
Osofo me bomb me homoding. Don't worry. Let's flow in any way comfortable for you. Good afternoon. But am I right in the way I did the introduction as you are one of the key leaders for City Praiser?
Yeah. Okay. So City Praise is a contemporary music group for Christ Temple ICGC in Ghana, Accra. The Christ Temple East, where I'm a pastor and I'm the head of music and then technical and media. So that's okay. I'm a member of CPAs. I'm the worship leader and worship pastor. So
right. Now that's been very I can say rave reviews on this album that has just been released. Amazing work. Everybody is lauding or applauding the work that has gone into this. Can you speak to it for us? What is it, first and foremost, that inspired an organization like ICGC to bring out this particular album?
Let me first congratulate all members of City Praise for doing very well. Hard work, people putting this whole album together. And also to Dr. and Mrs. Otabil for this vision that they've always had this in their spirit. And we've been pushing this, hoping that many years before this we could have done this. It's been something Doc has been dreaming of, because Doc himself is a man of the arts. He loves music. He's been into the art for many years. If you come to Christ Temple, you see we are one of the churches where we celebrate all kinds of, we appreciate all kinds of music, gospel music genres. We have operatic music group which ministers in our service. We have the choral group that handles our hymns. We have contemporary groups. We've had a cappella groups. We've had female groups, and then we also have solo groups. We have just instrumentalists who minister for us to take offering. So we are very diverse in terms of our music appreciation, and that is coming in all of us here. And so casting that vision of we need to capture what we do every Sunday and put it on a CD and let the world also begin to taste of what we do. So this album virtually it's for us our Sunday.
Okay.
Back to back.
Right.
That's how our Sunday is. If anybody watched the video, anybody came for the recording, either the live recording and the launch, and you're a member of the church, you see that how we flow is exactly how we do it in church. If you watch our live stream, the kind of songs we do is exactly the kind of songs you are seeing here. So that is how we've been at it.
Now, Pastor Edwin, clear something for me. I'm trying to zone in on what you said, that Papa Doc, Mensa Otabil, and Mama Joy they've always had this vision of you, the church, doing something like this. And I'm also aware that what we will call the record label of the church, which is Altar Music, has been in existence for a long time now. But tell me, you working closely with them, what is it that may have stalled or may have necessitated the wait up to this point? Why was it not done previously, but now? Why not then but now?
Okay, so yeah, like you rightly said, early days of the 1980s, Praise in a Sanctuary was released, led by um, Pastor or Bishop Kwapon then, under the Altar Music record label,
Okay.
which is a record label under the business entity. So it started, I think it's 80 something. I've forgotten exactly the year. Uh, but then, church church has many facets. Facets. So there are many things that a church would plan to do at the same time is working on a university, and then within that time it's university in a garage, and then it becomes a whole big university. It starts central aids, it's working on something. We start there, borehole, water, something. I think it was a borehole, a project.
Right.
Yeah, we did that one. We've done the cancer unit. There have been so many things the church generally has been doing,
Okay.
and so music is part of it. And remember that the the church has staff members, and it also has volunteer members. So everything you are doing, you are looking at the workload on the same people, whether it's financially, whether it's commitment or whatever. So you put a plan, a long-term plan to your project. At a certain point, you know that now we are okay to go on this direction. Now we are okay not to pursue this particular vision. So I think that from where I sit, um, after the likes of Reverend Kwapon and Pastor Morris and co, the music of ICGC became very strong, because remember that we're one of the earliest group that really made praise and worship stand out
Mm.
in power. I mean, we created the pattern for many people to also follow what has become the praise and the worship bit in our church.
And Rev,
And
Pastor, let me chip in whilst you're at this. That the group Black Heritage as well was one of the group that came out of
that
ICGC. I remember.
yeah, we had Ultimate. There was one group called Ultimate something, I've forgotten. We had Charisma. We've had a lot of group. We've held a lot of events in Christ Temple. I think Ron Kinoli has been there. A couple of big artists have been there. So the music of Christ Temple has been, we've been going, but the bit of doing a project had, has not been the main vision for some time.
Okay.
It's just went to event and how to bring up the people, and so we had Lumina, we've had the orchestra, we've had we've gone on a long journey on our music. But I think this time around, moving to East, we realized that now everything is set. Why? If you come to our church, you see the facility, you see that much attention has been paid into the system, the technology that has gone into the sound, into the video, into graphics, into lights, because if you listen to what Dr. Otabil said to the media when they met him in his office, he said that he first thought, when he was building this particular this particular edifice at Teshi, he thought of a theater
Okay.
first and not a church building. He thought of a theater first, not a church building, and a music center, an art center before a church. Because once you have an art center, a church can meet inside. And remember that most churches start not from a church building. They start from some club somewhere, some school somewhere,
Right.
something that is being used for something else, but it serves the church at the same time, serving other things. So he considered that in his architecture plan. And so if you look at CTE, it's like it's built for this, and this is the right time for us to now go and hit the nail hard bullseye and get the album ready out. So all this time, yeah, we're working, building capacity, trying our things we can do. So this is the right time.
Okay, that is very well explained, and I've listened to almost all the songs on the album, and it's just breathtaking, right? So let's go into what went into the production of this album. I mean, I've seen videos where you are right in the helm, from uh, boot like songwriting sessions to prayer times to some fun times, rehearsals, pre-production. So Papa Sidon, tell me, what is it that really went into the production of this album, and what did the team seek to achieve?
Well, Daniel, it's amazing what God can do when you get to walk with Him in faith and you commit yourself to Him. Even the little becomes much. Um, so we had just we began this whole thing in the month of February. By the time the year was ending, we knew that we want to do an album.
Okay.
We knew it. We even wanted to try. We attempted, not that we attempted. We wanted to do that last year, but because of a lot of activities, we just postponed it to this year. So we entered the year knowing that we need to do an album. But our church, we do a lot of how do you call it, preparation into the beginning of the year. So we had a lot of prayer times, a lot of programs as a corporate church into the year. Like most churches will have fasting and all that and all that. So by the time we realized February is here, and we told ourselves, no, if we don't do this thing before Greater Works, we might be so overwhelmed. So we
Okay.
gave ourselves February, March, April, we need to come up with the album. April, we have to release the album because we have a big mega concert in April, Easter Sunday evening. So
Okay.
our goal was set that April 9th, we would release the album. Now that we know April 9th we'll release the album, when do we start? We were talking about April 9th when we're in February. So we came up with a plan, and Doug approved it. We said, okay, we need to go for a retreat. We just need to spend some time. If we had 1 week, we will be able to do a lot. And so, and let me even say that Doug, prior to that, Doug has been always saying that he believes that if we spend even an all night just praying and worshiping and just singing spontaneously, we will happen upon songs. So we went with that notion. We took all of our key instrumentalists, drama bass guitarists, drama bass, two keyboardists. We went with some gadgets for recording. Three of our leads, including myself, and then three of our BBs.
Okay.
We went. We're there from Monday till Friday. Yeah, we left Saturday, so it was a whole week. We spent morning, evening. We slept every day like around 1 o'clock, 1 a.m. We start the day around 8 o'clock. We had times we fasted. We had times that we studied the Bible, and then we did group writings. And then we worked on our songs. So we went on a week to put the songs together. We all had ideas of songs, but it wasn't clear. But by the time we're coming back from the retreat, we're coming back with 30 songs.
30 songs. Okay. Within
more
1
than
week.
30. Yeah, within 1 week. 30 songs. And by 30 songs, I don't mean just, one liner.
Fully written, arranged.
Fully written. And so we're like, oh my God, how are we going to do an album with 30 songs. Now we are confused. We need to slash down the song. So, I mean, it was good. We came back with another plan that let's have the next album in view.
Okay.
Out of the 30 songs, so we took out the first 15, and then we've left some. And I know that by the time we say we are approaching the next album, we would have had more, because even now there are lots coming. So that's how we approached it in songwriting. And then when we came back, we were left with about 3 weeks into recording. Now, 3 weeks, we have to record and give ourselves time for it to be, how do you call it,
mixed and mastered.
Yes. So we come back in the end of the second week. Now we have 2 weeks to the end of February, and it's the same week that March begins. So we decided that, okay, let's do the recording in the first week of March, which is 5th March. So we can have about 3 weeks to the end of March to have mix and all that. And then at least 1 week to prepare again into the recording. I mean, and God helped us to do it. Well, as soon as we came back, we were having all-night rehearsal, we were having weekday rehearsals, and we're now polishing the songs. Band was meeting, we were meeting, and just working on the songs overnight.
So, Pastor Edwin, so not to cut you, but with what you're saying means that all the work that we hear, and I said the result we are hearing, everything was in-house. And yeah, you got any external professionals to come in and make that prominent input.
We had few songs that we had someone come in to help.
Okay.
So how do you call it? We had a friend of Mabong, the husband of Mabongi. He's called Gerald Pharaoh. He's a friend of our ministry, personally my friend. And so sometimes we write the songs. I mean, he had to even come down when we're recording. He came and then he listened to the songs, and then he advised, okay, this one, approach it this way. This one, let's take this one out and go about it this way. And so, we had him especially help us. But in terms of writing and structuring the song, everything, we did almost all the song. He wrote, I think, Gerald wrote one song. I was telling you one song that I wouldn't say inspired, but I directed him to write, and then and the rest of the song we wrote together. Any song he's on, we wrote together. Some we wrote together, himself with Dr. Otabil. And but the rest of the songs, it was just myself and the group. Right.
And it also looks like Doc has been involved, in every step of the way. Say, and yes, say,
very much.
Yeah. And yes, say ABI or yes, of opinion, it's not back for you to go and do your own thing. But I say,
no.
Right.
No. I'm in the US as I'm speaking to you.
Okay.
I'm not, but I can bet you that at about 5 o'clock Ghana time, when we are rehearsing, Doc will be in the rehearsal. He's always at our rehearsals. When he travels, he makes sure Saturday he's back. He's at the rehearsals. He
and is it are you talking in terms of rehearsal for this particular project or your normal everyday rehearsal?
Normal Sunday rehearsal, Saturday to Sunday rehearsal. Besides the how much more the concert here. If you watch the video, you see that he's standing there with us.
Wow.
All night. He comes all night with the wife. Sit there, listen, auditioning. We're auditioning people to do the songs, to lead the song. He sits in, gives his inputs at the audition. He is a man of the arts.
Wow.
And he loves what he does. He understands it. He guides us. He encourages us, So we are every day we are confident. We don't come on stage worried about what pastor is thinking. Are we no. We'll get the feedback on Saturday. Even if he's not too sure, he will watch us and allow us to make the mistake and come back to us and say, okay, I wanted to see whether this will work, but it's always been like that. He really is present in the whole thing.
Pastor, yeah. Let me ask you, what the vision for this? It's sort of inherently clear from what you've done, but once I have you on the show, the vision in terms of a new mama release, the whole resuscitation, if I permit me to use that word, of the what do you call it, altar music, which is the record label, the whole resuscitation of the record label, the way. What is the vision for it? And I'm asking this because we say those of us in Africa, and it's been so for a while now, for years now, say we would have songs from Australia, Hillsong, we will have songs from the Americas, we will have songs from UK, Europe, travel down into our churches, and those are the songs that you be used for your praise and worship, your concerts. No money idea better too. So is that one of or is that part of the vision for what more year at City Praise ne altar music? And it's something beyond that.
So the record label is not Christ Temple.
Okay, the record so the record label is not Christ Temple, right?
Yeah, the record label is not Christ Temple. There is a record label, and so it's not. It is not the same as the church.
Okay,
so the music group is in the church. We function in the church, but the record label. The music group is an artist on that record label. The record label is a record label for ICGC, which you are aware that has even there. It's under the name Altar Music.
Okay, so for make the distinction a bit clearer for me, because I know that we are live here in London and Accra. I know a lot of people in the entertainment space are listening, bloggers and stuff. So let's make the distinction clear, as in the difference between the record label and the church.
Yeah, so the record label is, how would I call it? The record label is a label set up by the church.
Okay.
It's not by the church, so it's called like a business entity that is run the music industry bit of the church. What you are saying?
Matthias, okay.
So I just want to for us to understand that. So it's under altar altar music. The altar music is the name of the record label. It's an ICGC record label which has been in existence.
Right.
Okay. So now when it's come back. Now the first artist now is City Praise. The goal is that many more artists from ICGC and even beyond can be on it.
So beyond, you mean say outside of ICGC?
Yes, I mean this is progressive.
Okay,
this is very progressive. Adebia one in Fiti I mean the long term is that it would be able to take on more artists to manage eventually.
This is refreshing news, because I have heard some entertainment pundits within Ghana ask this question, say, is it just going to be something about church, just promoting people in the church?
Let me say this.
Tell me.
Doc, I mean, we believe, it's about time, the artists would make money out of their craft. Check a lot of artists. Like, we are all complaining. People keep complaining, and how they end up very poor without a lot, but they are so talented. They've given a lot. So a record label, definitely intrinsically of a church, a record label from a church perspective would definitely have the main goal of spreading of promoting, using the business principles properly to promote a gospel message through music. You see, but then because it's a business thing, it is there to help the artist to become it is there to help the artist, get money and
be
also
self-sufficient. Is that what you mean? Be self-sufficient?
become self-sufficient and to do well at his craft.
Okay.
So it is one of the goals. Senebea, people in the church who have the talent, who have the music talent, can also see the church can help. How the church can help them to make money out of their craft. So
now, Pastor, before you go on, and whilst you are on this, let me ask this. I know that maybe I don't know. You can choose not to answer or to answer it. But once you're on this, let me ask this one. Again, some people within this entertainment or industry or the entertainment space in Ghana have been asking the question, and I'm asking this because we are having the distinction between Altar Music, which is the record label, and the church. They've been asking, say, does a church, and not in particular reference to the church ICGC in this sense, because there are other churches for Ghana, as you say, launch record labels. But the general question has been, say, does the church, and as a church, have the people with the requisite know-how to manage such a technical business like a record label? What would you say to that?
Why? My answer is that why do we exalt record label like is the highest business entity? Why do we exalt it that way? I mean, churches have done a lot of things that are business oriented. Churches have built hotels. Churches have built all kinds of business stuff, restaurants. Churches have gone into a lot of churches are doing other things. Why do we think record label, for whatever it is, the church will not have proper people to manage?
Maybe people think that has not been the core business of the church in T. They should go outside and get people.
I mean, if you see your church, building a university, you are going to ask your pastor, do you have the right people to be the VC or CV or VC or
the lecturer
vice
or lecturers?
You think, by this time, when a church wants to do when a church wants to build a hospital, it's not going to put bankers as doctors. It's never going to do that. So it definitely will. You see, and even for the church, it has more volunteers of all kinds of how do you call it, careers and people of different skills to work. So ab initio now, the question worries me. Say, why would we exalt the name record label to think that setting up a record label is so difficult and out of the world that the church cannot and will not? But the church is building hospitals. The church is building rehabilitation centers. How is the church running that?
Pastor Edwin, what aroma? My member hakakra na churches ne build the hospitals, ne hotels, ne idea de boa. But I think one of the biggest problems are sorry ne AFC enkrofo mo asafuni mo a omo tonyo mo a omo nyamo a asori no kotwe akra na okofo obi ba asafuni mo na oye doctor oye doctor wo hospital bi e no aba asori nim enti ne say asori no esan bi hospital na okofa doctor bia na obi oti asori dem ho na apart from that doctor na ya twe no afi kolebu edna betena asori dem ho no obi nya doctor bi ho a oba kofa doctor free baby fufura aba na nipa na ono so ti asori dem ho a wa tro nyum pem mo ano da so te ho. Into Nanki him say, sorry, the number one I don't meet me and say that is why you can't record label. No, there are a lot of people in the church, they need help. Sorry, no, then no more the abo monum to one. What I remember, a honor out to me, a bohomami.
My point is that, but I don't know your name.
Apostle.
Apostle. It's almost like look at churches in London. in every church, there are people who are sick. We have shut-in members whom the church would go and visit and give them communion, who cannot walk to church. Has the church decided to build a hospital because it has members who are sick? It hasn't, because it takes a lot to build that. But it can find its way of supporting the sick and helping them.
Okay.
But if it has not had the money to build an edifice, put doctors there and pay them, it doesn't mean that it's not taking care of its sick people. You get it? So when we talk about church and singers, I'm a singer, I'm a pastor and all that. Bro, it takes a lot to take care of congregational needs. It is not just singers who are complaining. There are people who are not employed. There are people who cannot go to school. So it has to create an equal opportunity for people, but it has to also encourage people to say that, hey, what the church can do for you is A, B, C, D. What more can you do? If the church grows to the capacity where it can build a studio, it will build it for the members to be using it. But if the church builds a studio, it still has to make money to sustain the studio so that it doesn't collapse. If it starts asking the members who are church members to use the studio but pay a fee, members will come and complain. It's a big thing. I don't think it's so unique to musicians. I think it's unique to, everybody in the church. Go to the ushering department. They are hoping that the church will buy them suit and tie and other things. They are not getting it. So it's not just the musician. Let's remember that, you see, what we do in church, let's not forget, we serve the body because the body died on the cross and saved us. The body is a person. The church is not just an organization. It's the person Jesus. He says we are members of his body. So when I serve him, it's the least I can do because he saved me. So when I get opportunity to serve and lead and worship and sing songs, thank God. If the church is so organized, is financially stable, and can give me more platform, Hakuna Matata. But if not, you just have to work hard, but not blame the church. We can't sit in the church and blame the church. There are other things that churches can do that they are not doing generally that we can talk about. But I don't think that we can put all the blame on the churches as though the church is the one causing musicians and gospel musicians to fail completely. No.
Pastor Edwin, I think that maybe from where you come and the ministry that you come from, there is that foresight organization that supports that.
No, because I go into other ministries to minister. I interact with a lot of people. Look, it is not as though my church gives me money to go and do my personal concert. No, but I thank God that constantly I am on stage and I'm ministering to people because it's building me. It's building me. It's the truth. It's building me. What do I think I'm getting from it? If I think the only thing I should get from the church is an endorsement or maybe Kwesi Bejisika Winafakoya album and all that, then your church in Shridiemu might not be able to do. The church in Chichire cannot do that. But they can only help you by giving you and they depend on you to do what you are doing for them. But you don't even see it as a blessing. You are complaining.
But so also for this, we can go on and on with this particular tangent. But sometimes the challenge that some of the gospel artists express and they say, even this endorsement and opportunity that you talk about is not everybody who gets it. There are a lot of people who, at a point where maybe they want to put out their music commercially, they may have served the church and done all the things that you mentioned, you just some few minutes back, serving the body and all that kind of thing. But the moment they decide to go a bit commercial, they don't get that endorsement. And it's actually a genuine concern a lot of people also face. That's why I said, maybe some ministers are fortunate enough to say maybe their leaders have that foresight and organization to support them in that direction, but not all people have it. Possibly that's the reason why there is always that complaint.
Yeah, I cannot say there are some issues. They are not spiritual issues. They are logistical problems. Daniel, if you go and start a church right now, if Rainbow becomes a church, Rainbow International Ministry, and you have 5 artists or 5 ambitious artists in your praise and worship team, they all want to use your church program. They all want you to publicize their program. You will notice that it is not a spiritual problem anymore.
Okay. Okay.
You have to think it through and say, what precedent am I setting? Can we sustain this? What if the best title of the church comes and tells me my daughter is graduating and I want to do it in your church and da 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 da? You have issues. So you will see that if the church is not ready and has not planned for that, it will begin to manage these things in a way till it's, and then one out kind till they have the capacity. But the person who is looking for it on tears and here.
Anyway, Pastor, let's round up the conversation. Come back to City Praise. Come back to altar music. The vision beyond this particular album. You know what you're seeking to do. How far are we going to see this particular album go, and what is the plan to make sure it happens?
Yes, Danny. So we are pushing very hard. The record label is pushing hard. We've released the album. So it's on all digital platforms. We are getting ready to release our next video out of the album, and then plan a couple of tours across the country in some of our churches. And then we are also open to invitations to minister in other programs. We want to teach the nations and the people with songs. So we're going to still churn out songs. We want people to believe that there's more to gospel music, especially Ghanaians, and there is more to church music, and we have to be very deliberate about our songwriting and deliberate about the forms of songs we want to teach the church with. So we are going to work hard, and we hope that we'll release more albums and more songs and do even more than just an album, do workshops and help people to grow.
All right. Pastor Edwin, thank you very much for the time. Our time it's far gone, and then we are very grateful. Say, Jim Rebecca, I know it's morning in the States, and you're getting ready to do other stuff. And I mean, we would keep taps on all that is happening, and say Yefro Bioma, you would still come and give us some insight into what's happening in the camp of City Praise and altar music.